Hello everyone. It is one of our very nice warm days, first days of late winter, early spring. So we're out here getting our first round of seedlings planted. We've got how many total trays when you did the math, or how many total cells? I'm trying to frame it well. Here, let me turn it around. I'm turn it around, make it a little easier to see.
So we've got a total of 1,192.
1,192 plants. Our germination rate should be pretty good. So that means we'll have, I'm going to say we'll have 800 plants to plant.
Yeah, let's call it 800, just to be safe.
Though we are, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say what we're focusing on right now, because it's still, though it is late in our winter, we are expecting another freeze sometime before Easter. Typically here in zone 9A or 8B, depending on who you ask, where we're at,
All done?
we expect one late freeze before that Easter time frame. So the only things that we're seeding right now are things that are going to go directly into our high tunnel as a buffer crop. A lot of it is going to be cut flowers that we want to have for early spring for Mother's Day. And the rest of it is all going to be perennials that can be relatively hardened off and possibly even in ground in the field before we get our next cycle started. So right now we don't have any vegetables, and we don't have anything that's going to be too tender moving into springtime. So yeah, if you want to run them
I'm
through
going to.
all the perennials that we have.
So we currently, hopefully someday we will be, we are not sponsored by any of these companies, but I'm still going to tell you our favorite seeds to use, which is Southern Exposure and Johnny's. I would say we get 90% of our seeds from them, and then about 10, well, maybe 80, and then about 10 to 20% from Baker Creek, which does all heirloom. I think they're out of Oregon, and they have all very interesting heirloom varieties. We aren't planting any Baker Creek today, but we do use them quite a bit. Yeah, Johnny's, if you're listening, Southern Exposure, if you're listening, we spend a lot of money with you.
Send us free stuff.
Send us your old seeds. We don't care. We're really good at getting expired seeds to germinate. So we've got some lavender, 2 trays of lavender, Greek oregano, common sage. We also had a lot of requests for herbs at the farmers market last year, which is why we're doing way more herbs this year. Catnip. Hopefully our 2 cats let those actually grow. Sweet marjoram. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit experimental. We had some very old seeds. What are they? Probably 4 years old.
At least, yeah.
So passion fruit. We very hilariously, smuggled them, quote unquote, smuggled them from Costa Rica when we went. And we've been holding on to them because they won't grow here. But now that we have a high tunnel, we actually have a chance because they'll grow in zone 9. And Louisiana is 8B, 9A, or where we're at least. So with the high tunnel, we might be able to get them to survive. So let's see how those do. 2 types of parsley, giant Italian and dark green. These have not been seeded yet, but this is where the flowers are going to start. Straw flower. Zinnias are very popular. What is this? Calendula is an edible. We're trying to do like multifunctional. So almost everything we're growing, if it's not, it's either perennial and edible and decorative, or any combination of those 2 things. So if it's an annual, it's going to also be edible.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Or medicinal.
Right.
Something else we learned through trial and error last year is to plant as many things as you can that don't require immediate attention, especially when you have no employees and not a lot of labor, because things that have to be used within a short shelf life of being ripe or ready end up going to waste more often than things that you can dry and save. So we're going to experiment with dried flowers this year, a lot more dried herbs. Yeah, I'll take it to the trash. Here, I'll take it. You found some feathers? Cool. Thank you for bringing me the trash. This is going to be feverfew, which is a medicinal and also a perennial and a decorative. Very beautiful, little tiny flowers.
They look like chamomile almost.
They do. Yarrow, I'm interested to try again. I had trouble sprouting yarrow last year because it's very sensitive. Once it gets wet, it can't get dry. So.
But it is one of the hardiest perennials that we've grown for some of our other clients for Legacy Gardens. We grew yarrow for multiple clients last year, and it survived every freeze. It survived all of the extreme heat, and it was just such a great companion plant for predatory and beneficial insects. And admittedly, none of my clients yet have used it for its medicinal property or harvested any of the plant and tried to dry it, but we're hoping to incorporate a lot of these into our perennial hedgerows. And we've done a few videos on those in the past, but we're incorporating actual fruit trees into our vegetable garden plots this year. So our perennial hedgerows are also going to be accompanied by those fruit trees. And you know, the idea is with incorporating all of these perennials that you could go out any time of year and a majority of the garden is going to look awesome and have an area to host beneficial and predatory insects on the farm.
And provide shade.
And provide shade.
And birds.
100%, and food and all that stuff. Speaking of food and pollinator food, this is echinacea, which everyone knows what echinacea is, but this is the paradiso mix, which is obviously French for paradise.
I don't think that's, I think it's Spanish.
That's the funny part. But anyways, this is really colorful. It's not just a purple coneflower. There's yellows, there's reds, there's all shades of purple and pink. So this is going to be an excellent cut flower, but then the dried flowers as well can help push us through revenue in the fall time. And then the seed heads are going to feed the birds when they're dry. And when they're not dry, they're going to feed the pollinators. So this is going to be an incredible addition. We're doing 3 trays of this. So I'm really excited about this one.
Here's our other experimental. We've got some papaya seeds we're going to try that also can do well here. A lot of people, I think, just don't really care about tropical fruits. So we might be the only people trying that this year. Here we have butterfly pea. Some of this is seeds that we saved because we didn't grow any other peas last year. But we got our original seeds from Green Dreams, so shout out to Pete. What's growing on, Pete? If you're watching this, we spend a lot of money with you too.
You're my boy, Pete.
What else do you get from him? Oh, we got our original roselles from him too, but then we saved our own seeds.
I think we bought our comfrey from him as well.
Comfrey,
I spent like $1,000 on bananas 5 years ago when we lived in California with this guy. Spent my entire COVID bucks money. So, yeah.
This is our roselle. We saved our own roselle seeds, and this is like just what, not even a quarter of the roselle seeds that we have.
Yeah,
they're pretty labor intensive to save though, not gonna lie. But it's worth it. You don't need to save as many as we did, but we also do resell seeds a little bit.
Yeah. That was exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah. When we do farmers markets, which we are trying to phase out of a little bit this year for reasons we will elaborate on later, but we were brewing hibiscus tea and selling the tea and then also selling the seeds. And what Anthony would say is we only want to sell you 1 cup of tea and then we want you to make your own. So we like to give people the means of production. We're not, oh, never mind, I shouldn't say that. YouTube might like the type of political view that I was just going to talk about.
Yeah.
But if you know anything about the means of production,
but we also don't want you to think that we're commies because
that's what I was trying to say though, but I didn't say that because YouTube doesn't like that word.
Oh, oops, YouTube. Sorry, we didn't mean it. If you want us to be commies, you can pretend
because commies withhold the means of production.
It's true.
Okay. Anyway. That's neither here nor there. I'm realizing you probably can't see these labels. That's okay. Bunching onions, chives, California white sage, which we really, really hope does well here because when you move to the south from the West Coast, it's kind of like coming from the future. And everyone here is just kind of getting on board with like hippy dippy things like burning sage and essential oil. So we will probably be the first people here bundling sage for burning, and that could be pretty cool.
Huge revenue boost.
Okay, I'm just making sure I can see baby feet behind the solar panel, and I can. I don't know why she likes, actually I do know why she likes hanging out under there. There's moss. Loves moss.
Big moss.
Big moss girl. Okay, I'm gonna take you to see the greenhouse, and then I'm gonna be helpful again.
Yeah.
Or do you want to do the greenhouse tour?
I can do.
You should do the greenhouse tour.
Got
it's your brainchild.
Alright, I'm gonna take you to do the greenhouse tour.
Do you want me to take those?
Yeah, I have the pin indicating where I left off. These are 3 seeds per hole.
Okay.
Let me get a close-up art shot on your.
Ooh, were you going top to bottom or bottom to top?
You'll see. You'll see. All right, guys. Trouble roosters. These guys are getting sold. Escape artists. It's neither here nor there. I'm going to show you our makeshift greenhouse. Last year, we released a video called The Little Greenhouse That Could. This is redneck engineering at its finest. It's, you know, there's going to be all types of gentlemen that are far superior in building than I am, and I'm sure a lot of them will have something to say in the comments, constructive or otherwise. I don't care. I know this isn't beautiful. We will be doing a full update video on this, but I can say that those 16-foot cattle panels, and there's 4 of them, making this about 16 foot long, are just arced in a J shape into the siding